Hey everybody, this is Chris here with Daily Motor, and today we've got the infotainment tour and demo on the 2022 Ford Mustang and its 8-inch Ford Sync 3 infotainment system. I know this is an oldie, and sometimes it's cool to just take a walk down memory lane and check out kind of an older infotainment system. The Mustang is due for a refresh this year for the 2023 model year, so I wanted to take a look at this outgoing infotainment system so when we review the new one, you all can go back and see how far the Ford system has come. So before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at this particular Mustang just so you can see what we're working with today. So I know I just said Ford Mustang when I started, but this is the Mach 1. This is the hardcore track-focused Mustang GT. 5-liter V8 6-speed manual transmission. If you want to learn more about this car, we will have links in the description to other videos on it, but this video will just be focusing on the infotainment system. This is a proper looking car. All right, let's go ahead, hop in, and dive right into this infotainment system. Before we get started on that, I do want to show off this 12-inch gauge cluster. We'll just cycle through the modes real quick and show you how it changes. So right now we're in normal mode. You can go into my mode and it's the same. I have my mode set for loud exhaust. Sport Plus mode gives you a slightly different rev counter there, but your speedometer stays the same. Track mode gives you a large horizontal rev counter. That's pretty sweet there. Drag strip mode, I believe, looks the same there. Yep, same as track mode. And then snow wet mode should be the same as normal. Yes, it is. So a few different gauge display designs there. I think it's cool when manufacturers can make the digital cluster fun and make it change form. But that's about it for the gauge cluster. It really doesn't do much else, but it's entertaining in that way. So we'll give Ford some points for that. Anyways, though, let's move on to this honestly fairly simple Sync 3 system. Sync 3's been around now for, oh man, probably 6 or 7 years, so it's a pretty dated system. The original 2015 Mustangs, I believe, came with this exact infotainment. I'm sure this is a little bit updated. It's still Sync 3, but I'm sure it's a newer version of so. So this is your home screen, which is obtained by pressing the little home icon there in the upper left-hand corner. You can see your audio source here, which is AM radio because I have my phone unplugged right now. You've got your compass here in the upper right, and then you can see that, well, my phone is Bluetoothed to the infotainment, so you can see that in the bottom right. So that's your home screen. You've got 5 tabs here at the bottom. This car is not fitted with navigation, so you don't have a map anywhere in this car. You just have your audio source, which right now is AM. You can switch your source here, FM, Sirius, or you can go to Bluetooth audio there. You've got a tune knob over here on the right. I'll give you a look with the POV camera here. You can tune through the radio stations like so, which is convenient. We always love a good tune knob. You've also got a volume knob right here on the bottom left. If we go back home here, you also have a screen for your climate control. Now this isn't really necessary because you do have a climate control panel down here that does pretty much everything, if not every single thing that this climate control screen in the infotainment does. So it's a little bit weird to have this in here, but they give it to you anyways, just maybe as a gimmick, I don't know, or if you just prefer to see your physical numbers here instead of using the physical controls here, you can get a better visual using the climate screen, I guess, I don't know. But you do have that option there. Actually, it looks like maybe if you are switching where the air is going, you may have to use the infotainment. I don't know, pick one, Ford, one or the other. Either put it in the infotainment or put everything on the panel. Here's our phone menu. I do have my phone Bluetooth right now, so you can see I can go through all of my phone settings in this menu. I distinctly remember I was working at a Ford dealership during the time when Sync 3 came out, and it was like the biggest deal ever. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, it works just like a smartphone. It's the same sort of deal. And I remember being really impressed with this infotainment system, but that was like 7 years ago. So it's certainly feeling a little bit dated at this point. Here's your settings. You can mess with your radio settings, or excuse me, your sound settings in here. And well, you can see you've got general settings. What's in here? Okay, just, well, general settings, just like it says. 911 assist, phone, Bluetooth settings, automatic updates, forward pass if you have forward pass. You can mess with your display, get vehicle settings in here. Oops, just camera settings is all that is. And as funny as it is, guys, that's it. That's the entire infotainment system. So what we'll do now is we'll take a look at Apple CarPlay on here, just so you guys can get a visual for, well, if you have an iPhone, what will Apple CarPlay look like on this little 8-inch infotainment screen. So I'm going to go ahead and plug my phone in here and give you all a look at Apple CarPlay. All right, so there's Apple CarPlay loading up. We'll go back to our main menu here. You can see it fills up the whole screen. We have the narrow view. We've got 4 apps across, 2 apps down, but it reacts pretty quickly. You know, for as old and dated as this infotainment system is, it still gets around. Now, granted, it doesn't have much to do. There aren't very many functions in here, so it makes sense that it's pretty easy to use and it works pretty smoothly here. Take a look at Spotify. Smooth enough. So there you go. There is Apple CarPlay. Let's go ahead and hop into Google Maps. You can see how fast that reacts. Pretty quick. Not a lot of lag. There's a little bit of lag, of course. With an older system, you'll always have that. But it works pretty dang good, and I'm pretty happy with how Apple CarPlay looks on that screen. A little bit lower resolution than we're used to, but again, 7-year-old system, so we'll give it a break. So let's go ahead and swap this iPhone out for an Android, and we'll take a look at Android Auto here. All right, and here we go into Android Auto. Pretty similar resolution here, and it actually fits the screen. Drum roll. Taking a minute to load up here. Still pairing. No. Okay, here we go. Here's Android Auto. It actually fills out the screen quite nicely here on this Mustang, and I don't know why. There we go. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, it lags quite a bit, guys. Check that out. Okay, so Android Auto is quite laggy here on Sync 3. Take a look. Oh, Maps is... Oh, you can at least see it pull this up. Oh, boy, it's laggy. Wow, that takes forever, and Google Maps is not... This is an inactive phone here that I'm using right now. Holy crap. Okay, let's take a look here. Oh, man. This is hilarious. Do you Android users deal with this? Is this... I guess YouTube works a little bit smoother. Anyways, though, and of course, hit your forward button here to get back to the Sync 3. Which, as you can see, doesn't move the fastest, but I think it does as good as it can for how old this system is. And just like that, that's going to wrap it up for the Sync 3 8-inch touchscreen here in this Ford Mustang. A super simple system, super easy to use, and honestly, if you're using phone projection, it's just fine. I mean, Android Auto, as you saw, it lags quite a bit, so if you have an Android, bad luck. But if you do have an iPhone, it works quite nicely. And if you kind of just want to use Bluetooth audio and, you know, pair your device that way, it works fine as well. Go back home there. Also, super cool gauge cluster. I am super excited to see what Ford does with the new Mustang and all of the new tech that they're going to have in it. In fact, this video is being recorded about 2 weeks prior to the release of the next-gen Mustang, so super exciting stuff to look forward to. Final thoughts on the infotainment. I guess I pretty much already wrapped it up. It's an old system, but it still works. Yes, I would like to see a new system, but I'm not annoyed by this old system still being here in the Mustang. Am I kind of annoyed that it doesn't have wireless CarPlay? Kind of, but plugging your phone in is just mindless and easy, and it's really not that big of a deal. So that'll wrap it up for us today. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Chris here with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.